Are you planning to design your kitchen but you're a little worried that it's too small and everything is not going to fit in? What if I tell you that we have designed this kitchen which is not only small but actually fits everything into it just by smart ideas? Well, if you're looking for these smart ideas and hacks to actually make your kitchen also look big and make it look much more efficient and fit a lot more things in it, then this is exactly the video that you need to see, because I'm going to be sharing with you exactly how we've designed this kitchen and giving you an entire tour of it. So stay tuned till the end of the video if you want to find out what color combinations we've used, what hardware we've used, and why we've exactly used those space-saving hacks that we've used. Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Tanvi Sixeria, the founder and CEO of Littlem's Designer, a luxury interior design firm. If you're here to find out about the tips, tricks and hacks and anything to do with interior design, then you're at the right place. Well, so let's jump right into this topic. In this video, I'm going to be talking about this beautiful kitchen that we've designed, which is so small as barely even 50 square foot, but just in this size, we have managed to incorporate everything that the client wanted, whether it was the fridge, the other equipment, to the storage that needs to be put inside all of the drawers and shutters. And not just this, we've actually managed to give them a nice folding breakfast table, which I'm going to be talking about in this video. So stay tuned, because I can't wait to talk about every small detail hack that we have used in this kitchen. So in this video, the topics that I'm going to be covering are 1. The space planning and the layout, 2. The materials and the color combinations, 3. The fall ceiling and the electrical lighting work, and 4 is going to be the space saving hacks in terms of the hardware you've used, etc. 1. Space planning and layout. Now if you see this kitchen, it was really small. As soon as you enter the house, there was a living room which gets into an open kitchen concept. Now this kitchen concept that we have designed also had a small breakfast table, if you see. On the left of it, we have shutters and drawers which are on a linear form of a counter tabletop, and on the right we have a breakfast table which actually is foldable, which I'll tell you about a little later. But just to understand the layout, we have tried to keep all the storage touching the wall on the extreme left. This is to make the center part of the kitchen, between the kitchen and the bar, completely empty, so there is enough space to move around and actually access everything. To the right of all of these doors and shutters, we have given you a nice fridge just nearby the window so that we do not cover too much of the daylight coming in. Now this was for the layout of this piece. Now the reason that we've given it a linear kitchen layout is because if we would have given you storage on both sides of the kitchen layout, it would have become too much. So we decided to give everything on one side of the wall. But let's say if you're someone who wants to add little more storage, you can definitely give the kitchen storages on both sides of the wall layout. Now when you enter, there is something that you need to understand when you're designing the space planning of a kitchen, and this is known as a working triangle. When you're understanding the working triangle of a kitchen, the 3 main elements are your fridge, your stove and your sink. Making sure that there is a good synchronicity happening between these 3 is very, very important. So if you see, usually what you have is you have the gas, which is the stove, on one counter, you have the sink on another counter, and you have the fridge on the other counter, so that there is a good triangle forming between these. But sometimes when you have a very, very small space, you cannot go with these principles. So a simple hack to this is to actually have it in one linear, the way we've designed in this kitchen. So what we've done is we've given the fridge on the extreme end, because giving it in the front of the kitchen would be a hassle, because every time someone would come in or go out, it would come into the hindrance of anybody else if in case there were 2 people using the kitchen. So the reason of putting the fridge right at the end was that. And also because it was really tall, so it would block the view of the kitchen. And then right after that, we've given you storage counters going under the counter so that there is easy access to it, and above that we have also given you overhead storage shutters. Now as you can see, there was barely any space for a dining area or anywhere to eat. So what we've done is, keeping in mind that we've kept all the hidden storage on the left of this wall, on the right of the wall we've given you a cute bar table cum breakfast table cum dining table. Yes, this table had multiple purposes to it. And not just that, what the beauty about this table was that when you did not want to keep it in use, it had one small fixed portion with a beautiful storage cabinet underneath. If you opened it, you could store anything from your cutlery to your bar bottle, glasses, or anything that you would like to store. And when you wanted to use this table, all you had to do was flap down the table, and then you could actually have 2 chairs on either side and eat and actually enjoy your meal or anything that you would like to have on it.
Wow!
It's very important to ensure that you have minimum 3 feet of passage space between any two of these things. So if you see between the left cabinet with all the storage and the right of the bar table folding, we've actually created a small passage of 3 feet, so there is easy movement going all across the kitchen. So when you're planning your kitchen too, make sure to keep minimum of 3 feet passage wherever you can. Now that you've understood the space planning and the layout of this kitchen, let's talk about the color combination and materials. Now I know that usually when you have a small kitchen, I wouldn't recommend you to use very dark colors. But for some reason this client absolutely loved black and we did not want to disappoint them and give them something that we wanted. So making sure that they really loved black and we wanted to incorporate one of their favorite colors, we made sure to contrast with the beautiful light wood. So if you see the entire color combination for this kitchen cum bar unit on the right of it is black and light wood. Yes, this is a very rare color combination that you would see in a kitchen, especially if it's a small kitchen. So a word of advice for you is if you have a small kitchen, I would generally recommend to go for a lighter color, and just in case if you're a fan of a darker color like this one which we've designed as a black, then contrast it with a much lighter color so that it doesn't look overbearing. You see over this in the color combination, what we've done is we've given you black as well as wood going all across the kitchen. So what we've done is in the under counter part of it, we've gone for everything black. And in the overhead, we've gone for a lighter material, which is a light wood. Now, the reason for this is usually when you're walking and seeing any item, your eye level is usually at a 5 feet. So anything that is below that doesn't hit your eye a lot. So the good hack about this is keeping the darker colors under the eye level, that is under 5 feet wherever possible. And in the things that are going to be actually visible at eye level and above that are things that you can make on a lighter color, like we've used this light wood. And then above the eye level, let's say about 7 feet and above, you can actually change the color again to something else. So in this case, we've stuck to the same black. But let's say if you are going to be designing a kitchen, you could also go for the same ceiling color. Like let's say if it's an off-white, you can even keep that. So in this color combination, it is black, light wood and black, which is going all throughout the kitchen. And as for the bar table on the right of it, we've also made sure that the top of the table is actually black. We've used a nice black granite material, so this is very sustainable in case you have any stains or anything going on it. Granite is a great material to use. A better material would definitely be quartz, which is a great thing in case if any stain comes or if you want to have maintenance free materials. But however, in this particular design, we have gone for a black granite, and if you see, these are small little crystals in it, so it doesn't look very boring too, and at the same time it looks really classy too. Now as for the materials, like I mentioned, we've used the black granite top both for the kitchen counter top as well as the bar top. And for the storage cabinets above and below that, we've used this beautiful green lamb laminate. Green lamb is a great company to use because they have various thicknesses. A great thickness for your laminate would start off from a 0.75 to a 1 mm at least. The thicker the laminate is, the better it is in terms of maintenance in case you have scratches, etc. It's much easier to maintain. However, you shouldn't go below 0.75 because then you'll have a lot of scratches coming. So we have chosen a beautiful laminate from the Green Lamb company, and this has gone really well because we've gone for the black from the same company as well as a light wood. Choosing the laminates of the same company always helps because in case you have any issues that you would like to exchange the brand, it's much easier to do so. So keep that in mind when you're selecting your materials. So the main materials that we have used for this kitchen are the laminates for the storage and the black granite going all across the countertop. And a good hack to save cost on the materials is that you should usually use these high premium brand laminates only for the exterior shutters. For the interior shutters, you can actually use a slightly lesser known brand but good quality of course, and this could also really help because you're going to be using maximum amount on the internal. External is very limited quantity that you actually require. So definitely try this hack next time.
Yay!
So that we don't have too much color going around, we've actually selected a similar color black sink and a black faucet. The black sink was from a Bianco company and the black faucet was a Jaguar Opal series that we selected. So that what happened is that the sink and the tap or the faucet of the sink actually matched with the countertop. And of course the backsplash. The backsplash is basically the area which is going between the countertop and the overhead shutter. We've made sure that even that was black, so there was a good monochromity going all across the counter in the under section of it. Ideally, you can put the granite on the backsplash too, but it would not be very recommended because A, it would be much costlier, and 2, the thickness would be too much. So instead, what we've done in this design is we've taken a black tile, a black vitrified bodied, full bodied tile onto the backsplash, which is the section between the overhead and the under counter, and we've tried to match that same black with the countertop so that it looked really beautiful.
Wow.
As for the hardware which we've used the half-lay telescopic channels for all the drawers and shutters. In case you don't want to use half-lay, some other options are Hettich, Blum. They are really good. Enox. They have some really good hardwares which you can use for your kitchen. These are not very expensive and at the same time really last you really well. So definitely try to consider these companies when you're choosing your kitchen hardwares. And for the hardwares, what you should use is you should use telescopic channels or tandem channels for the drawers, especially if you're going to be putting a lot of weight onto it, and they usually come with kgs. So make sure that if you're putting something heavy, you choose the channel with a heavier kg related, because in case you go for a channel that can only take up, let's say, 20 kgs and you're going to be putting something that's much more than that, it's just going to break and you're not going to have a lot of issues. So be smart about it when you choose your hardware as well. About the kitchen handles for the drawers and shutters, we've done a little unique detailing here. So wait till the end of the video because I really want to share this with you. I'm sure it's going to help you as well. 3. Now let's talk about the false ceiling and electrical lighting. Now how we've done the false ceiling design for this kitchen is we've gone for a beautiful simple off-white color gypsum sheet going all across. And we painted it with a nice off-white morning glory paint from Asian Paints, because this was not too loud, not too soft, and perfect for the darker color combinations which you use for the rest of the kitchen with the tones of black and light wood. Now what we've done is we've created this GI channels framework so that it holds the false ceiling really well, and then we've put it onto the false ceiling so that it comes down by only 3 inches. As the kitchen was really small, we didn't want to come down by the height too much. So we kept it as minimal as possible and also selected lights with much lesser depth. Because sometimes what happens is when you're selecting the lights, the depth of the light is so much that you need to bring down the false ceiling down. So be a little careful when you're selecting the lights, because your light and the false ceiling ideally go hand in hand. So you don't want to make that mistake. Usually I would recommend for a space that is really small, go for something with a lesser depth. So for example, you have nice down lights and panel lights which take up really less space. So something that we have used in this are the Panasonic round panel lights, which were about a 12 wattage, and we've used about 3 of them, so it really makes the space look nice and bright. And at the same time, it barely took any height space so that we could finish the entire false ceiling with the lights in under 3 inches. So be smart about the lights you choose, not just choose anything and then have problems with the heights of it. Now when you're selecting the lighting for the kitchen, there are 2 ways to consider this. One is going to be your main lighting, which is known as the task lighting. This lighting is the panel lights which I spoke about. So in this, what we've done is we've chosen the 6K or the white light. The reason for this is when you're cooking or doing anything in the kitchen, you actually need to see the right colors of the food. You don't want it to be a mishap. But let's say you're someone who also loves a bit of fun and ambience in the kitchen. Then what you can do is you can add a bit of 3K, also known as a warm white color light, which is basically a mix of yellow and white, just under the countertop, just to add a bit of that ambience. So that the main lighting of the white is coming from the false ceiling, hitting your main countertop in which you're using to prepare all the food, and just a little bit of that yellow touch light just to add a bit of that mood into the kitchen. So what we've done is between the under counter and the overhead shutter, we had a little space. We added a beautiful LED strip, concealed strip going all across, so that yellow 3K light really made that space look really nice and moody. So in case you want to have a date night, it's perfect to put that on. Okay, so that was just the lighting. What about the electrical points? That's so important when you're designing the kitchen and barely anyone talks about it. So in terms of the electrical switchboard, first let me tell you about the selection that we've done. So we've gone for a black Norris's switchboard which matched perfectly and camouflaged really well with the backsplash black tile that we've used. You see, you can barely even see the switchboard. Now the second thing is to understand what to actually put in each switchboard. So for this switchboard, you should usually divide it into two ways. One should be the switchboards which are actually exposed and easy to access, and the other switchboards should be things which you don't need to use on a daily basis and can actually be hidden. So now you must be wondering what I must be talking about. So let me explain this to you better. So behind all of your equipment, let's say your fridge, microwave, etc., you're going to be having it plugged in all the time. You're not going to keep removing the plug, right? All you need access is for the switch. So a great hack to this is to actually put the plug points behind each of these equipments, like let's say your fridge, microwave, etc. So the plug of that equipment is always plugged into that thing. But the access of the switch should be something that's easily accessible by the counter. So the plug point is hidden behind, but the switch access is actually exposed to you and easily accessible to you. And let's talk about the space saving hacks. So if you can see, the breakfast table is one of the best things that we've done for this place, because what happens with the breakfast table is that when you don't want to access it, that space is completely saved and you can use this table only when you require it. So it actually saves you on a lot of space. So in case if you have a small space, try to make things that are folding or that can be put into place when you don't require it and can be pulled out only when you require it. This is definitely something you should try to do, because it looks like a small little hack, but it makes a lot of difference if you don't have too much space.
Whoa! Wow!
Another hack is to do with the handles. Now usually what happens is that people have handles protruding out, and when the space is really tight, every time you're moving in and around that space, you might get hurt with the handles and it might come in your way. So a good way to do this is to actually have concealed handles. Now instead of having the regular concealed handles, what we've done is we've given a nice triangular shaped cross slant drawer design with a nice slit or a groove under, so that one can literally put their finger inside and pull it out super easily. So not only does this save a lot of space, but it's also known as smart designing. In case you don't want something like this, you can also use a profile handle. They come in a variety of colors and types, and that's absolutely ready and easy to install. They come in golds, they come in blacks, they come in so many types, and they have G profile, a J profile. Trust me, the options are unlimited. This is a very small hack but really important, and you should definitely try it, especially if you have a small space for your kitchen. And another space saving hack for your kitchen is that always have a place for everything. Of course it has to look beautiful from the outside, but it's really important to organize the kitchen well from the inside. You can do this with actually dividing and using internal organizers between each drawer. So if you open the first drawer, there is a cutlery drawer in which we've put divisions for each spoon, forks, and different cutleries that the client wanted to use. You can do it in your way. Make sure that you know the number of quantity that you want to use, so you can actually divide it as per you. Making a drawer specifically for that specific item makes you understand how much you can actually put into it. Discard all the things that you've never used, things that you think you will use and haven't even looked at in years. Discard them and make space for things that you will actually use. And the things that you actually need, actually organize it and divide it as per each drawer what is going where. So trust me, this is a great space saving hack that you should definitely consider. Well, I hope you enjoyed this kitchen tour, because I had really fun explaining you all of the small details that went behind it. And in case you're someone who's still planning their kitchen and wants to know some small hacks about the corners so that you don't waste it, then you can definitely check out this video. I'm also going to be leaving a link in the description below, because these are some hacks which you can actually make use of that corner, because that corner usually always goes waste. So definitely try these out. And I really hope you found this video helpful. Comment below and let me know if you enjoyed this color combination or it's something you're daring to use, because I know black is something that people don't really use. But let me know if you've liked this color combination. And of course, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and of course hit that notification bell so that you don't miss out on our next video. Thank you so much for watching.